Hey, it's Christine Horn, and you are watching Two Mics Up.
Double O seven.
What's happening, everybody? It's your man Dame D NYDC. It's Monday night. It's two mics up, and whoo, man, tonight, man, we got a hot one. Not only in the sense of weather, but in the sense of tonight's guest. Tonight's guest, known to many as the booking magnet. She has an extensive career. Broadway, film, as a television actress. And she's also a career coach for actors, and she happens to have that pen game too. She's an author, writing a book, playing small, the actor's guide to becoming a booking magnet. Now, when you see tonight's guest, you're probably gonna have flashbacks. And I know I did. She's has over 25 plus years of experience and has been in 73 or 74, 75 plus films. You know, you've seen her in, Snowfall, BMF, I believe it was SWAT, Terminator, Dark Fate, Tyler Perry's The Haves and Haves Not, and I can go on and on and on and on. Um, but she's also a giving person, and she's very inspiring in the sense that she's helped, hundreds of actors from around the world, through her online acting, community, Hollywood bound actors. And, she has another online course, Book More TV. And we're going to talk about all of that tonight. And I think I've dragged it on long enough, ladies and gentlemen, with the tease, but put your hands together for tonight's amazing and awesome guest, Christine Horn. Look at that smile. How are you doing, Christine? How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Thank you for inviting me over here to Two Mics Up. I'm excited to
Well,
talk.
we had to, because like I said, I mean that's a breath in the body of work. So deep, so large, so vast. And before we really dive into really highlighting you and the body of work and your inspiration that you're giving to so many others, we have to start out just by asking, who is Christine the person? And I really want to know more so, what is it that you like to do when you're not gracing us, with your presence on stage and helping others, achieve their dreams?
Oh well, I'm a girl from New York, from the
All
Boogie
right.
Down Bronx, by way of West Indian parents. My mom's side is Jamaican, my dad's from Alabama. Born and raised in New York, but then like came into my own in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Okay.
Atlanta feels more like home, and I split my time between LA and Atlanta. I am a woman who's multi-passionate, very driven, very loving. When I'm not on set or on stage, I am throwing down in the kitchen. I love to cook. I
All
learned how
right.
to cook when I was 8 years old, so I love to cook, and I love to spend time in my garden. I started a garden this
Okay.
year, and so even with all this heat, I got my first cucumber the other day, and I was so excited. So, um, I just love to just. I'm a big reader. I love to sing. I love to just hang out. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I'm a very outgoing person.
I love it. Okay, so in the kitchen, what's the first dish we throwing down? We coming from Caribbean background. Look, I'm from New York.
Jerk chicken,
That jerk. Oh yes.
sausage, curry chicken. Like those are my top three favorites.
All
Yes.
right. All right. Yeah,
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it. I love what's on the menu already. Got me hungry. So listen. So with your impressive career, I mean, spanning, film, television, and theater, I always like, each one probably brings something a little bit different just because of the makeup, if you will, of
Mhm.
I don't know, each set or each arena, if you will. What has been the most rewarding project, that you worked on to date? Because I know you got so much more, but what can you say is the most rewarding so far?
I'll have to give you two.
Okay.
One for me was when I booked The Lion King, the Broadway show, The Lion King. I got to do it on tour. I traveled with it for 5 years. That was such a big deal because it just changed my life. And
Hmm.
I have friends that I made to this day, and and getting the training of a grueling 8 show week, week after week after week for 5 years. I did it on
Wow.
Broadway. I did the national tour. I did it in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. I got to go to Germany, Mexico, Hawaii. Like that show got to take me so many places. And it's funny, right before I booked that show, I was working my 9 to 5 and I said, I should get a passport because I want to travel more. And I think it might have been a month later that I booked the Lion King and needed that passport. So that is huge and will always be special to me because of
Wow.
that. As far as television, an on-camera moment, I would say when I portrayed Harriet Tubman on a show called Timeless. It was a sci-fi show that was on for a couple of
Okay.
seasons. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure if anybody has Hulu, you can probably still find it there. That was huge because it was like my biggest television role to date at that time. And
Right.
to play an iconic American hero like Harriet Tubman was such an honor to join the ranks of Cicely Tyson, and
Mm-hmm.
so many wonderful, amazing actresses.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, okay, Hollywood sees me. I'm making my mark here. Yeah.
Mm. I love that, in that description, Hollywood sees me. That's a very poignant statement. And I'm just out of curiosity, we know it's a very rough and rugged, industry, and you got to have thick skin.
Absolutely.
How do you press on, and really find, sometimes I guess you have to be creative because I'm pretty sure there's times you get turned down for things. But how do you,
Oh,
yeah, right, right, right. I'm trying to be nice here because I know you probably get kicked in the guts. Like sometimes you think you got it, but how do you press on in those moments?
it's a great question. And God, faith,
Mm,
belief, unshakable belief, and unshakable faith in the work that I know I'm supposed to be here to do. God
mm,
gifted me with this gift. So I
right,
did it for free way back in the day. So I started in the theater performing for $0. So
mm,
I know this is my gift. Is it hard? Absolutely. Oh my gosh, heartbreaking. You're so close for roles, and the bigger stuff that you're up for, the more of a life-changing opportunity that can be that you do or do not get. You book a show and you film it and the show doesn't air. Like
mm,
it's ebbs and flows. It's such an emotional roller coaster. So much so, the average person has no clue. They see us on red carpets and just think everything's
right,
amazing. We're
right.
so grateful, and many times it is, but we're human and we deal with way more rejection than the average person.
Mm,
But again, my faith in God and just knowing that, what's for me can't miss me. And I
mm.
know I'm always protected and guided. So
I love that. And I'm listening because, like you said, as a fan, we see the glitz, the glamour, we see what is the good side, right? The achievements, and
absolutely.
understanding and listening and just watching you speak, you know, you really pour a lot into not only your work, your craft, and others. I have to ask, who's pouring into Christine, to help her keep herself charged and going. I know, God definitely is at the forefront, but
Mhm.
just as a person, like who is this, someone in your circle or you have a tribe that really help fill your cup, so
Yeah.
that you can still continue on.
I love that question, and I absolutely do have a very my computer wants me to update something. I absolutely have a very loving tribe, and I have a very special circle of loved ones around me who I
Hmm.
can call. I call this person for this, I call that person for that. We'll hang out there, cry on the phone because something didn't go right. Um, so yeah, that and also too, I am a big student of law of attraction, and I
Mm,
journal every day, and I meditate, and I just show myself so much love. And I'm at a stage in my life where um I just embrace and seek peace. And
wow.
so I attract that, and I attract such amazing
Mm,
people to me. And so yeah, I get poured into a whole lot. It's really
I, lo-
lovely.
I love it. I mean, I know it's definitely needed, and I'm going to change lanes for a second, and dive into some of your work because I want to get a little saucy here, because you know you really had and I don't want to give it away, but if you folks haven't watched BMF, you need to watch it. Christine was
I
playing
played
the
a very
role.
I read a sweet Christian character who was really
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good intro. Yeah,
was
okay.
that was that your interpretation of
Yeah. She was, look, Mabel was saucy, and you
Oh,
know, the
yes.
show, and your character, I have to tell you, my wife and I first were like, oh man, cool. But my wife's like, nah, she got this vibe. She got this vibe. And I'm like, what are you talking? She said, I'm telling you. She said, a woman knows.
A
And
woman.
yeah, woman knows. And you really walked a tightrope at first between right and wrong, and
Yes.
specifically as it came to Charles and Lucille. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, really, like, because that had look, not saying that was part of anybody's nature, but it's acting. But how did you get into that character, right? And what was the motivation really to be able to carry that out? Because it was convincing as all heck. Like
Oh, yeah.
we bought it, we bought tickets.
Oh, trust me, I know. And social media let me know. I joke around. I said people would be hating me in my DM
Mm.
and giving marriage proposals was one way or the you know, I approach that role the way I do any other role. I love character development. I love
Mhm.
finding out, taking the skeleton and what's been provided for me in the script, what the producers and the show wants to give. They tell me, hey, this is the story arc, right? And of course, I get my scripts one by one, and I know where it starts and where it's going to end, and everything else in between. I get to fill in, and I get to just
Mm.
figure out, okay, how does she walk? How does she
Yeah.
talk? Why is she this way? A big thing is for actors is we have to humanize our roles. Because
Yep.
Christine, reading that script was like, oh, this she is messy. Oh my God, this she did. Well, I
Yeah.
Dean Horn is saying that, but I can't judge her. So now
Right.
I had to go in, okay, why is she this way? What is her motive? What's her backstory? So I gave her some humanity. And yes, she was messy. And for
Mhm.
me, I chose that yes, she had a divorce. Yes, her ex-husband did her wrong. And I even took it back. She was just really wanting love. But like
Yeah.
so many times, in life, we want something, we don't go about it the right way. And at the core of it, I chose that Mabel just intentionally just wanted something that wasn't hers, just to see if she could get
Mm.
it. It was a
Mm.
game to her. And instead of dealing with, if Mabel had did her own work,
Right. I
she
understand.
realized that that's not the way. But again, I had a lot of fun creating her. And I know sometimes when I do interviews, I don't know if people want to hear me say that, but I did. The same way I had fun being Harriet Tubman and playing Black Diamond
Right.
on Snowfall. I want to tell the truth, and I know I was effective by how the audience reacted. Even after the next season, I'm not even in it, and people are
Yep.
still talking about Mabel,
Yep.
messy Mabel. I can't believe. Oh, I wish she would have hit you with that pan. Like all, I had to. One of the executive producers, Heather, while we finished filming that first spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the first after the party scene, the
Mhm.
first time everything went down, the producer came up to me and she said, Christine, get ready.
Oh.
Get ready. She
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
you're gonna get it's gonna be positive and negative. And
Yep.
so yeah, it is what it is.
Look here, sis. You brought Mabel to life. Cause I was in here like, oh no, come on, Mabel. I'm like, come on. But
And
it
mm,
go ahead.
I agree. I'm over here with you, like, yeah, she was a mess.
She was a hot mess. It was a hot stinking mess. But I mean, it really gave to the storyline. It really gave to the character. It really gave to the show. And I really like that. How the show identified certain characters that really helped support it. The full storyline of really, unfortunately, how some things do play out. In our inner cities, in our homes when families are going through crisis. Um, you're looking in all the wrong places, and it's so real and vivid.
And everybody knows the Mabel. That's the
Mhm.
thing. And that's
Oh,
when I was creating her. I was like, I know this woman. Everybody knows this woman.
yep, yep.
So that's
Uh,
why everybody a mile away was like, he fixing that
yeah.
fan, fixing that
It.
cabinet. Oh, don't trust
I,
it.
I I didn't catch it. My wife was like,
Y'all
I'm
man be
telling
slow.
you.
Y'all be slow
She,
sometimes.
well, and
Y'all
that's what she said. She said, look, exactly. My wife said, she said, man, she said, you got to think back when you was younger. She said, because you're still slow. And I'm looking at her like, really? She said, look, it's in our DNA. I ain't gonna lie.
we
You
love you. We love y'all, but that's why we're around to just give you a little nudge. It's like
you,
just keep
you ain't
I'm
never.
watching.
You sound just like my wife. Cause where you going? And it's not like she on me all the time, but I'm watching her. I already see it. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, who are you talking about? Like, who's this? Imagine. She said, I see her. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stay close. I've learned We've been together 30 years, so I've learned how
Yes.
to you traverse these things.
We'll
But
tell your wife. We'll tell your wife she was on it for Mabel. She was
yeah, she
definitely.
was on it. She was on
Yeah.
it. She definitely was. So I want to transition into to big screen because you also been on some big screen productions and you know you're part of the Terminator series, and working
Yeah.
with Michael Bay, who really brings a lot of explosive action and things to the screen. And I'm just curious, like, what was it like for you, as an actress and an artist and entertainer to be able to be on, maybe a large set such as that? And, did you take anything away, from him, his directing and producing style? Or did you take any away from any one of the other actors or anything that you found that, hey, could be very useful for you to use as your tool moving forward?
I mean, more than anything, I was just in shock most of the time that I would have to just pinch myself. Like
Wow.
I'm shooting the Terminator. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I shoot like that. I think I want to say share this too for your audience. Like I can't speak for all actors, but I know my core group and those of us who really love what we do, like it's still very magical. Yes, it is
Mm,
our job, especially if it's something we're doing often. We get to go to work every day and you know it can feel like clocking in, clock it out, but it's very magical being going to a set and seeing the set get built and seeing how they do all the stuff with the green screen. And fun fact about the Terminator is I auditioned and didn't even know that I auditioned for the Terminator
oh,
until I
wow.
booked it. A lot
Wow.
of these big blockbuster films are very hush hush, very top
Mhm.
secret. You audition under a fake title or no title at all, a fake role name, a
Wow.
fake script. So you don't even know what you're reading for. It's just like the role initially said medic. It was a soldier. And I was like, okay. And it was a
Right.
quick audition. It was due like the next day. And then like my agent called me a few weeks later, like, you booked the Terminator. I was like, when did I audition for the Terminator? And then being in the scene with Mackenzie, the young woman who was that star of that,
Mhm.
it was just surreal. That's all I can just say. I I just remember us needing to being directed to really keep the energy high. Like he had us
Mm.
do like push-ups and jumping jacks and things like that in between
Wow.
takes to make sure the intensity stayed there. Because you have to keep in mind also so much is we have to imagine happening around us.
Mm.
Like what you see in
Mm.
the final cut with aliens and all kinds of stuff is not happening in there. So we have to create that energy so it carries over once all the special effects are added. But it was just again, one of those moments where it's like
Wow.
it wasn't a big scene, right? It was like one,
Right.
but it was I'm part of to be a part of that franchise is really an honor.
Well, I mean, that's the part that I think, like you said, we don't get to see, the magic, that you're helping to create, and that really entertains us, when we go watch it on screen. And I just love the fact that you still find, even to this day, the work sometimes is magical for you, like you said. And I think that's really a part of what makes you so special because you bring that energy and that magic and you make it happen. But I also understand, that you're also inspired too,
Mhm,
right? To through your work, you've helped probably countless, if not hundreds, of
mhm.
actors, from around the world, through your online community. And I want to give you a few minutes to talk about, Hollywood bound actors and your online course, Book More TV. So take a
Yeah,
few minutes and really, because I think that is so dope, what you're doing to give back to others to really inspire and elevate them, to become a part of the entertainment industry and share their craft.
thank you. I appreciate you letting me share that. I just believe in lifting as I climb. I have been
Mm,
helped along the way. I have a in high school. I had an amazing mentor named Freddie Hendricks. I also had another mentor for my music named Boston Fielder. People who took the time to pour into me.
hmm.
And I remember when I moved to Los Angeles the first time, like 2000, after I got done with The Lion King, I just was lost. Filled with
Wow.
talent, had Broadway credits, had already did like Stomp that movie Stomp the Yard and some other independent. I worked with Billy D. Williams, but it was like not enough for LA. And I just felt very lost. And I was like, how am I
Mm,
here with all this talent and I can't even get an agent? I can't even buy an audition. And
right.
so I ended up resetting my life. I share my story deep more thoroughly in my book, but basically I reset my life and then came back later. And when I came back in 2017 to Los Angeles, I just started Facebook Live was still kind of new. And I just was like vlogging. I was like, me and my mama will watch it. You know, like, hey, hey, I had an audition. Nobody's watching but me and but what started to happen was people did start watching and people started to ask questions and people were very intrigued that I was giving out all this tea. Like I was
Mm,
just sharing. This industry can be very cutthroat and can be very much lack energetically. Like this is mine. I can't tell
right.
you about. And I don't operate that. Again, like I told you, I'm a student of law of attraction and I know what's for me can't miss me. And
Love it.
you know, God is infinite. There's so much for everybody. And so
Hmm.
I just kept asking questions. And I was like, well, shoot, this is a whole lot of people asking questions. Well, maybe I'll start a Facebook group. And then I started doing this daily show called Actors Daily Bread. I was like, I'm going to feed the people. I'm going to call it Actors Daily Bread. And that launched into calling the community, giving the community a name, which has now become
Mm,
Hollywood Brown Actors, which has turned into a podcast. And then naturally, I started people asking, coach me, do you do audition coaching? So I would do little things here and there. But as anyone, if there are any entrepreneurs listening, you have to scale your business eventually.
mhm.
Um, and so I was like, I'm tired of repeating myself. So let me put together.
We put
But
this together, put it
right.
out there.
Also because I saw how my bookings were coming. And I was really doing a lot of television because something had clicked for me. I had cracked a code for myself from when I was not booking to when I was. And I stepped back and was like, shoot, what was the difference? What happened?
Hmm.
And I just really made myself take the time to say, oh, I did this, I did that. And that's what, I learned this. I watch TV. TV is like a game to me. I love watching television. Like the way every medical show is the same, every cop show is the same kind
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
characters, same archetypes. And I put that all into a course. And that's Book More TV, which again has, at this point, I think we maybe have over 700 students in that class as to date. Not
Wow.
including my private clients. I've hosted conferences. So when I have time, when I'm not on set, I am helping. And a lot of times I'll be on set. And
Hmm.
I'll pull up my phone and say, hey guys, this is what I learned today on set. Let me tell y'all.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and I'm just going to say this too, something special about seeing a Black woman being open, being honest. And I realized there was an untapped market of brown,
Hmm.
beautiful actors who just didn't feel seen or
Yeah.
heard by other coaches in this online space. And
Yeah.
so that representation really matters. So many women and men come to me like, I just get you. You just keep it
Hmm.
real. Tell me what it is. Um, so yeah, that's how that all happened. And I balance that again with my shooting schedule. And when I'm very busy, it's okay because my online course does what it does and my team
Hmm.
helps. And then when I have more time, I do more.
And look here. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, if you are really interested, we're going to make sure we drop Christine's information. Go out, check it out. If this is something that you're really serious about, or if you're currently doing it and you're looking to elevate yourself in that space, Christine, I mean, she's given a ton of knowledge. I can just feel her energy, her vibe. And I don't know, sometimes I think it's a New York thing. Sometimes New Yorkers, we click that
Yeah.
vibe, that energy, you get it. But if you're not feeling this energy, I don't know, something wrong with you, but go out and really check her work out. Get yourself involved. I think she's a great human being, a great person. And it's very rare that you find someone in that space giving from that space. And that's why it's an honor, Christine, to have you here and sharing your story on our platform, and continue success with you and all of your work and that.
Thank you so
But we're
much.
coming on the backside, and I do want to ask, because you do, like you said, we talk about platforms.
Mhm.
And I'm just curious to know for you, like what are your thoughts? Let's just say on how someone as a public figure, should handle themselves with conflicts. I just had a conversation, did a show a couple of weeks ago about handling conflicts. And I'm just curious, being in the public eye, how do you feel, or how do you handle public conflicts to try to maintain that level of professionalism? Because sometimes people out here want to poke the bear. And I tell people, like, look here, you want to go one time too many. You sure you want to go that road? And that's usually my trigger mechanism or my warning. Like, all right, one more time. So I'm curious to know, how do you stay in that professional manner when dealing with
Well,
stuff like that?
to be honest, I haven't dealt with much. I mean, every now and then, just by the mere fact of you showing up and having an opinion or
Mm.
making yourself visible, you open yourself up to critiques. You got
Yeah.
keyboard gangsters at home who, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Mm-hmm.
fake Instagram accounts who just want to tell you all about yourself. For me, I just think about what's at stake. I have more to
Mm.
lose, than maybe someone else. And I'm not willing to put my career in jeopardy, my safety in
Yeah.
jeopardy, for anybody.
Right.
And I do realize people do not know me. People who
Mm.
know me.
Right.
You look at a few posts on my Instagram, or you think you saw me on a TV show, and you think that's really me. You know,
Right.
so I really try not to engage. Honestly, I get kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, nothing major has happened
Thank God. That's right.
to deal with that. Perhaps when that does, my publicist will take care
That's
of it.
right.
But I protect my energy, and I
Mm.
realize people are just making all kinds of assumptions.
It's
It's
crazy.
funny. The saving grace for me when I was playing Mabel, even though I got a lot of hate, was the saving grace was also that I was playing Black Diamond on Snowfall at the
That's
same time.
right. That's
Many
right.
people did not realize that. So later, and I saw like on Twitter or X, people
Mm.
like they were doing all these side by side.
Yep.
I realized that's the same person. And
Yep.
that kind of helped because those characters are so drastically different.
Different.
So it helped people be like, okay, well, maybe she ain't really that way. All right.
I love it. Look, yeah, that's the magic of acting and the magic of your art, Christine. It's been an amazing conversation. We could go on and on and on, but I thank you for sharing, your energy and your soul and your spirit with us today. And
Thank you.
before we go, I'll give you a moment to please go ahead and drop your social media. I want our audience to go out, follow, support, and get behind everything that you're doing and all the light that you're bringing into this dark world.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, the easiest way to find me, if you're an actor or aspiring actor, you can go to Hollywood Bound Actors. You can find it where you listen to podcasts or go to Instagram. If you're also like, I maybe want to dip my toe in the field, you can visit howtostartacting.com.
Mm.
Howtostartacting.com. You know why, Damon? Because people keep asking me that question 80 million times. And I say, you know what? I'm just going to put a course together that's free for people to figure out how to say, well, my cousin and them, can you talk? You can visit
I
howtostartacting.com.
love it. I love
Oh,
it.
those are the two best places. And my personal page is actress Christine Horn. So yeah, either one of those, you will find me. Thank you so much. You got it right there. And yes, I play a lot on TikTok, playing around there, just have a lot of fun. But yeah, you will see me on something very
Uh,
soon.
uh, and we can't wait. We'll make sure we put that information in the show notes as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The incredible, the lovely Christine Horn. Thank you again, Christine, so much for your time today. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say. I mean, this one, I got goosebumps. All I can ask you, look, just keep watching Two Mics Up. Give us, a like and a follow. We are actually coming through season 7. On the
Awesome.
Mogul TV Global Network. Look, the network is popping right now. We're in 45 countries. We have over 100 million viewers. Roku TV, you can Amazon TV. You can go ahead and download it. And I got actor John Michael Hill is going to be joining us next week. You've seen him, most recently, A Man in Full on Netflix. Brother really killed it. Can't wait to really sit down and rock with him and share his story with you all. So check us out next week. And, as we come to the end, I'm going to leave you with the same three things I leave you each and every week. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out. 007.